That's fresh out the box like that. What's up, YouTube? The day has finally come. Well, unfortunate for me. I made a video about these Gold FX years ago. 3 years ago, probably. 270, 280,000 views later off this exact clipper. And the battery life is like hanging on for dear life at this point. You know, I've had them for a long time, and I dropped them and I broke the cam follower. And so I was like, you know, by the time I replace the battery and replace the blade, I might as well get some new ones. So I went ahead and I got the FX1. Now these guys supposedly have a new motor in them, 7,200 RPM. So slowly we're gonna be getting into the FX1 ecosystem. I didn't go out and buy a whole bunch of stuff at once, but as needed, you know, everything's gonna be run off the same battery. So let's go ahead and take these out, see how they look. So right out the way, they feel the same. They do have this rounded curvature on the bottom as opposed to the square versions, so it's a little bit less harsh on your hand when you're holding it. It's the first time ever turning them on. Let's see how they sound. It seems like they got some power, a little sharp on the corners. See how they're gapped, and let's check out the rest of this. Oh, these shits are sharp. Yeah, right out the box. They're too sharp on this side. Right here, when you rub down your finger, it's a little bit too much right there. So I'm gonna adjust these. Let's go over the adjusting process together. We'll be jacking up necks and back of the necks and under the neck. You do gotta break them in a little bit, but a little bit. Power's there, blade's there. And they hurt a little bit. Hit the corners of the blade, tap the wrist, because your wrist is sensitive area, so you'll see right here how sharp they are and whatnot. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and dial these back just a little bit. I don't know if you can see them, but they're pretty much like on the line right there. And you kind of want to take it back just a hair, especially when they're brand new and the blade is sharp and the motor's got full power. And you know, you're just over here like, these are like chainsaws. So they come with, we have the screwdriver, an extra cam follower, and we have the zero gap tool, which I never use these because they're too sharp. You can't have your stuff that sharp. Let me see if you can see my wrist. So the good thing I'm so pale, you can see all the stuff. And right here, my neck got zipped. So this is our Allen wrench tool, and this is our blade. So you unscrew the blade out. You're gonna take this Allen wrench tool, you're gonna go inside here, you're gonna loosen this up a little bit, and then you're gonna take this, dial this back a smidgen. So now that you loosened it up, you can literally move this black blade all over the place. And you don't want to use a mirror, you don't want to zero gap it, you don't want to put on a flush thing because that's too sharp. So what you want to do is you want to move it to where there's just a hair left, so you can rub this top of this blade and it's smooth. If you start rubbing this blade and you get a little bit of friction, then it's too sharp. And you can't have the blade too far down or it will pull hair. So this looks pretty good right here. So the cool thing about this is you got gold on black, which I love this idea. So you can see the contrast. All right, so we're gonna try that right there, put these back together. So it's hard to see, but let's throw these on here and see if we took a little bit of harshness off them. So we're gonna bolt these back on. Feel better, they don't hurt anymore. So now we got the pain out of them, and now we gotta see if they cut good. So on my next client, we're gonna line them up. So on the stand, this is dope. It's got a USB-C and a regular Babyliss charger in the back. Charge this with like a battery or iPhone charger. So we got them gapped to where they're not as sharp as they were fresh out the box, which was way too sharp. They were actually overlapping on the right side. And now we just gotta see, now that we know that they don't hurt, we gotta see if they cut good. So we're doing a skin fade. We're gonna detail the outside of it so that it has detail when we fade into it. And as you can see, it's doing perfectly fine, no irritation, and it's leaving a nice little detailed edge. So now I'm gonna start the skin fade all the way around. They have plenty of power, just like the predecessor. The first ones, maybe a little more power, it's hard to say. I never had a problem with the power of the first ones, So these ones are right along with it as far as power. I mean, these are really neck and neck with the Sabres. I would say they're better overall because I feel like they do have more oomph in them if you're gonna do skin fades and balled out. But that being said, the Sabres are also an excellent pair of trimmers. But the way I got these dialed in right here, guys, they're like touch and go. Right now, they're I would consider to be these are probably better than the originals that I had set. But only time will tell. This is just my first day of using them. So here we're gonna actually do a lineup, which is what you mostly want your trimmers for. And we got short hair, we got a 1 on top, and they're doing just fine. I had no problem lining him up. And I feel like the shorter the hair, the sharper your trimmer has to be, because you know it's not that far from bald. You know, it's a 1 on top. And it did a great job. You know, I was over here tapping, you know, touching the line up, not putting any pressure, tapping, and it took off all the hair I needed to. I didn't have to apply any pressure. It was sharp. The motor and the blade is very crunchy, which is, you know, a bonus if you can get a crunchy blade in a not so loud environment. It just, you know, lets you know you're cutting hair, and you make less mistakes when your blade has either like a vibration to it or a crunch to it. You just feel it. It's like doing jiu-jitsu or something. You're feeling your opponent out. But if you feel the it's hard to explain, but the crunchier the blade, the better. And this is definitely a crunchy blade, and it's a sharp blade when you set it the right way. Now, you know, to each his own. That's how I set it, and that's how we got it. But yeah, I think this lineup came up crispy. We're gonna tap the little middle area real quick, and then yeah, it's gonna be done. So for me, these are definitely an upgrade over the originals. I do believe they have a little bit more power. They're more comfortable in the hand because the bottom is tapered out. They have the interchangeable battery, so that you can replace the battery for like $50. You don't have to send it back to Babyliss. And also, you can take the front magnetic piece off and clean the whole inside of them and keep the maintenance down to a minimum. You can grease it up right there. You can lube it up and get all the hair out so that it will perform at its best. So I give these trimmers a 9.5 out of 10.